Welcome to Isn't It Obvious, where things are obvious. That's going to be the intro.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to Isn't It Obvious, your weekly, bi-weekly, whenever you're going to listen to this, rant conversation about random topics that mean nothing, but hopefully make you think.
The points don't matter.
I am Micah. Oh, the points definitely matter. I mean, it sucks that we're both losing to Phil, but...
I have negative 50 points.
Exactly.
We're the worst.
I am your host, Micah, with Sera and Phil. And today on Municipal Shop Talk, isn't it obvious that railway systems should be more important and more encouraged in American mass transit?
I love trains,
Same. I'm not going to argue about it.
but I don't like the economies of trains.
Why not? What's wrong with trains? Trains are great. They're so much cheaper than literally anything else if we could...
Trains?
If we had the infrastructure, let's be honest. If we had the infrastructure.
But instead of spending millions upon millions of dollars, constantly bailing out the same 6 airlines that keep pissing away their money,
we could just buy and establish...
an above-ground, enclosed railway system.
kind of like Japan, with their really fast, super awesome, but basically the same price as an airline ticket.
Sure.
It is, actually.
Oh, okay.
Well,
But wait, from Japan to mainland Asia? Or
No,
from, Japan?
going from...
Put it in American sense.
Okay, so if you're going...
Can you use freedom units?
If you're going from
So, Minneapolis
Osaka,
to Chicago?
say you're going to Osaka to Tokyo, I think that would be, the equivalent of $150. And that's
Okay, how much?
And
probably...
that would be the same airline fee?
Yeah, I think it's about that.
From Osaka to Tokyo?
I want to... Well, I don't actually know, because I could, Google it, but we're not going to Google that, because we're not allowed to Google it.
Right.
But, yeah, I think if you were to take it, just a one-way ticket, right, from Osaka flying to Tokyo, yes, that would probably be about $150, maybe $200. I don't know. It might be a little more expensive, but also you have to factor in the whole, wait time for a plane, whereas with trains, they're running, constantly, so you can just literally buy a ticket, hop on, and go. So there is some convenience.
But then it's
to the
also
train,
the, TSA aspect.
Yeah, there's less...
the stigma for the airlines in America.
Yeah, there's less security, let's be honest, on a train.
I would say that the biggest problem is labor. So if you're in a plane and it takes, I don't know, an hour and 30 minutes from Minneapolis to Chicago, right? It's about that. Maybe.
No,
let's
it's
just say
that.
that.
Yeah. It's less than 2 hours.
That's 2 hours worth of labor for the crew, and then they touch down, and then they stop getting paid. That's just kind of the way that it works. And yeah, I understand that you have to pay the company has to pay for things like the rights to the access to that gate and the gate fees and, paying the airport. But all that aside, the labor itself is only a few hours per employee working. Now think about a train ride or from Minneapolis to Chicago, right?
But this is of a high speed.
Right. Even
I'm not saying we have Amtrak that's going 60.
It would be the equivalent of a plane, speed wise.
Yeah, you're 200-300 mile an hour.
Yeah.
No,
bullet train.
Even if it's a bullet train, right? From Minneapolis to Chicago would probably be 4 hours.
No, it would probably take way less than that.
It's
less
4
than
hours
that.
now.
It's an hour to get, maybe an hour and a half to get from Osaka to Tokyo.
But the issue here you have is that you have to have stops, right? The bullet train isn't just going to go from Minneapolis.
No. This is a hub system.
No, there's express, and then there's the one that takes all the stops on the way. So you can pay more for literally a direct flight or a direct train ride, and then there's the non-express version that's slower but cheaper, and you can and there's maybe 10 to 20 stops on the way.
So how fast does a bullet train that you would expect go for the U.S.?
We would probably take the same speeds that they have in Japan. We would probably literally hire someone from Japan's engineering and say, "Hey, we want that."
Tactile rail system. It's a magnetic rail system.
So even if it's magnetic, right? You probably would go maybe, let's say 150 miles an hour. That's pretty fast.
I think closer to 200. Isn't the bullet train 300 kilometers per hour?
Yeah, something like that.
But
so it's 250.
The reason why I peg it to 150 is because that seems like the U.S. would half-ass it. They wouldn't really go for the full speed.
No,
let's just be honest here.
No, we would fucking...
I don't know. Look at the Northwest Corridor. Tell me if Americans half-ass it. We're using a railway system from 1860 still.
Are you helping my case, or
Yes, I'm helping you.
Okay,
America would half-ass it.
America's going to half-ass it. They're going to half-ass it. Instead of going 200, they're probably going to go 100. Or maybe let's just say, by charity's sake, 150
What
miles
is this,
per hour.
Amtrak? Like, no. We're gonna go full on bullet train. We're gonna hire engineers from
How about
Japan
this?
or wherever.
We'll take a caveat of 75% bullet train.
Okay,
Whatever.
so
This is Elon Musk is
No.
Elon Musk is pairing with Jeff Bezos,
we're gonna do way
and
better.
they're pulling together $100 billion between them to do this.
I want to
Okay.
think
With existing
that we're
technology.
I want to think that whoever designs this is going to do this because they're like, fucking trains are cool and we're going to make them as fast as possible.
But it's also, it's not, you would not have that many stops. I think it would be like a hub network type thing where you go,
I think there would be.
we're going to take this
I think there.
from the Midwest, Chicago to
Dallas.
like, well, you'd have like a Chicago to Kansas City to Dallas, from Kansas City to Phoenix, from Kansas City to Denver,
no,
and then like a
We
Chicago
have a very
to
big
All right.
continent. Like we have a very big
Right.
yeah.
country.
That's why it would need to be two major cities.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm
Like,
honestly, it would go Minneapolis to Milwaukee to Chicago, right? Because those are pretty.
I don't think there would be a need to go to Milwaukee because there's already a rail system from Chicago to Milwaukee.
But if you're gonna go big, or go home, just go big. Like you're gonna want to go to the major populous areas of each state. Milwaukee being
All right,
pretty.
all right. How about this caveat? Capitals only.
But who cares?
Capital to capital.
Oh, St.
Well, that would be
Paul.
the bullet. That would be the bullet train. So the bullet train would
Yeah,
go.
bullet train is capital
yes,
to capital.
but there would also be smaller trains, like in Japan or any, train.
So you'd have
dependent
St.
system.
Paul to Madison,
Yeah, there
and
would.
then a smaller train from Madison to Milwaukee.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
why that? Like the capitals don't actually have a lot of industry. Traditionally speaking, capitals are kind of like the political center, and then industries are always in this like close to rivers. And for some weird reason, capitals don't like to be close to like. I'm not saying this is always the case, but think about Madison, Wisconsin, right? Like it's a pretty big city. It's the capital, and they have a good university, and we all like it because they
like
have a pretty
100,000. It's half the size of St. Paul.
like they have
not that
it's a
big.
really nice. Okay, it's not really that big though, but they have a really cool like farmers
and
market.
it's established between two lakes.
Right. But think about Milwaukee. It's like a juggernaut of an industrial
Milwaukee
city.
is a suburb of Chicago.
Right. So,
I'm expecting hate mail from them.
I don't think both sides would agree begrudgingly. Like, anyway.
Oh, yeah. No, they'd agree, but they'd be angry.
Yeah,
about it.
okay, they're angry agree. You don't want to go between capital to capital. That's not... You want to transport goods and services are the people side of it, right?
But you're not transporting, like, the bullet trains, do bullet trains in Japan deal with a lot of cargo, or is it mainly just moving people?
Just people and their luggage most of the time, as far as I'm.
So you're not dealing with commerce here.
Yeah.
You're not dealing with industry
Yep,
in this
this
high
is
rail.
legit.
This is merely transporting people.
Yep.
Yeah, but
This is an airline aspect.
Yep.
You have a Delta train. They just care about moving people.
okay. So I like that idea. If it's an airline like system, then you would put the hubs or like the train station where airlines kind of are.
Yeah.
like because they're kind of like
so
a
like
good
you'd have a
spot.
big hub in Chicago because Chicago would serve most of the Midwest.
Right.
Like Dallas would have a big hub because that serves a lot of the South and Texas.
So
You'd have you'd probably have a smaller hub in Phoenix that is an intermediary from a lot of Californian hubs because you don't want to spend the money to dig through the mountains. But you probably would
Well,
have
for,
one
like-
from like Seattle to Minneapolis.
I was gonna say California is such a big state; they would probably need at least 3 hubs.
Right, but you'd have like the San Francisco one if we're not doing the capital one. You'd
Yeah,
have like
San
the San
Francisco,
hub.
Long Beach
would
and,
go to, like-
and Los Angeles. Like there'd be 3 or something like that.
It'd probably be San Diego, not Long Beach.
Yeah, okay, whatever. San Diego.
Even though they're only like an hour and a half apart. But
Yeah,
we're splitting hairs getting
yeah.
specific.
But there would be like probably 3.
But
for
you would
California.
have, you'd have 3 or 4 in California that would probably pipe down to
2 or 3
Phoenix.
in Texas, and yeah.
but the main hub probably being Dallas. That's the northernmost.
Yep.
And from south, you go to Austin. You can go to San Antonio. You can go to El Paso. You can
Yep,
go to
and there would
Houston.
be slower trains, but it would be still pretty quick.
Yeah.
There might be.
Yeah.
They might not be the full-on 200 kilometers an hour bullet trains, but there would be fast trains, and you could hop on.
So
from
instead
them.
of having like you fly from Los Angeles to Denver to Dallas for like it's a 2-hour flight to Denver, hour-and-a-half flight to Dallas, but you have a 3-hour layover. You have 6 hours of constant travel.
Yep, and you're just on a train. You can keep your luggage with you.
You have a cart. You have a drink trolley.
Yep,
you can
there's-
get your chocolate frogs.
There's a
or
station.
whatever you want.
You can buy snacks at the station. There would be fucking delicious meals at a convenience store that are locally supplied with local foods, and it would be delicious, and you could just buy lunch there. Oh god, that'd be so good.
Sacrificing a bit of
There'd be like
time management
restaurants and
for more
malls based around all of these stations. Like there would be so much commerce there.
It would be cool if the bullet trains can accept cars, right? So you just drive your car and then they just like load it up for you.
No, there
So
wouldn't even be. You wouldn't even hardly need cars. You
Well, I
just
mean, like-
literally hop on
No, you go to the hub and then you just have Ubers and Lyfts and
stuff to get
like
you
autonomous
to,
cars.
Yeah,
They don't have like child seats and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't need child
But
seats. On
they
a plane.
have,
Or
yeah, you
on
can
a
have
train.
adjustable child seats.
You just set it. There's. It's not like
In the back of like the smart car, you can like lift up the middle seat, turns into a child
Oh, you're
seat
talking
up
about
until like
Ubers.
6 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
so
We're dealing with sci-fi right now, all right?
Okay.
Because we have an efficient railway system. In the area. We're already well within the realm of fantasy.
all right, okay, I understand that elves and orcs are going to be here as well, but my point is
Don't you dare bring pride into this. That was a horrible movie.
there is a problem. High-speed rail, I'm going to be guessing in the U.S., is going to be half the speed as an airplane. And I'm not saying that for like practical purposes, but I just think that's my for the sake of the argument,
to
that's
be-
Maybe
most
over
likely
the
what's going to
ocean,
happen.
but no, actually land. No, if it's it would be half the speed at like a non-express level, but like as an express, like if there is a train that's going, it's one way and there's no stops. It's literally from point A to point B. There's no in betweens. No, that's probably comparable to a plane for sure.
Wait, are you saying a
And you
train
don't
can
have-
go faster than a like? Can
No,
get
it's about
even...
the same. A bullet train can go
Well-
about the same speed as a plane if you're taking out all of the fucking wait time a plane
Oh,
requires.
right. No, that I agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
But the
fact,
news
it's
is-
probably faster in some ways, way more convenient.
if we have okay, we're talking about the future,
You
right?
go to
So
the fucking
we're
airport
either
with
talking about
security.
the fact that if trains take off, you're going to have the same bullshit TSA there. Like you guys have to either recognize
No,
that.
because you don't have that in trains now.
See, the future is funny because I think that's what they're going for, right? Because like they don't have it for trains now because there's only 5 people using it. And one of them is Joe Biden. There's a problem with the trains because they don't need to have it. There's not a lot of people. But once it becomes popular, then they're gonna have this stupid shit in there. So the future is gonna probably be unpaired.
No, as soon as there's a 9/11 where a train hits a building, yes.
But the thing is,
We've had train accidents. People still use trains. There's still no change in security.
and the thing is trains they're on a strict schedule. And if you have enough of them going, you can just buy a ticket. You don't have to buy a ticket for a specific time frame. You just buy a ticket for a train from one location to another. And you can take any train that's going from that location to that other location. If you get there and you still have to go through security, you can literally just hop on whatever next train is scheduled to go, which might be 10 minutes or maybe a 20-minute wait, depending on how many trains you have running at any given time. And then you just hop on whenever you're ready to go.
Okay, can I throw a curveball into this because I have to play this devil's advocate because you guys know I love trains. Maybe you don't, but now you do. Would you rather take an airplane for twice the speed? Let's just pretend a train that's twice as cheap.
What time frame are you talking about? Is it like a 5-hour flight or a 10-hour train ride, or like a 2-hour flight and a 4-hour train ride?
Let's say Chicago because that's the funnest place that's close to us. So like
I mean, Chicago's not that fun.
2 hour.
I'm expecting hate mail.
Okay.
They're all shitholes.
I love Chicago. Let's say it's Chicago. So 2 hours, let's pretend, and 4-hour train ride. That's probably not true though. So it's hour and 30 minutes for flight, and let's say 3 hours by train. Okay, let's say that. Train is half the cost because of magic economics.
Not magic economics, just lack of government bailouts
And there's no TSA. You can just literally walk on with your luggage.
less
You buy
security.
you buy a ticket, and then you just get on the train.
Right. So would you...
I would take the 3 hour
You would take the
train
train under those circumstances?
Yep, I would take the train ride.
Mhm.
Fuck
But
the
then when you-
TSA. Fuck all that waiting time.
Who are you
Fuck
gonna
having
pay
to
to-
buy a ticket in advance like that? I just want to be able to show up, buy a ticket, go.
Okay.
If it was 10% less, not half the price. If I paid $100 for a flight to Chicago or $90 for a train ride to Chicago, and knowing it was another hour longer, I would take the
I
train.
would still take the train. I would also still take the train. I would.
Like, fuck the airlines, man. Flying is a hassle now.
Flying is
Way
only
back in the
great
day,
if you're-
it was an event.
Yes.
And it was fun, but now people are showing up in their goddamn Crocs and sweatpants and wearing underwear as
Leggings.
bras, and it's disgusting.
Hey now. What do you mean underwear as bras?
Bras are underwear.
Yeah, like I'm not sure I understand.
No. I mean drawers as bras.
Like handkerchiefs?
Someone's just
No.
Putting on-
Like someone took a pair of tidy whities, cut a neck hole, use that as a bra.
you can't do that though. That's not how bras work.
You could,
How-
it's a hole's big
It
enough.
supported that woman's bust,
I don't
and it was gross to look at.
I don't think that's possible. Anyway, yeah, I don't think you should be wearing like a bikini on a fucking
Wait.
in public.
Wait, hold on now.
Unless
Hold
you're
on
on
now.
the beach. Like that's...
Is it a man wearing it?
Are you able to pull off the bikini regardless of gender?
Who cares?
That's the question.
No, who cares?
If you can pull off the bikini,
Who cares?
then
No, fuck. You know
Yeah,
what?
okay.
You know what? Even if you can't, fuck you. You can wear whatever the fuck you want as long as it's not.
yeah, sure. As long as I have a small section that I'm only sharing with 3 people
No,
that
you know,
are of a similar like-minded
long as-
sense, that
no.
I can shut the door to the rest of the
as
people.
long as it's appropriate to the location you're at. Like, obviously, you're not going to be.
If it's business casual, that's all I'm
That's
asking
what I'm
for.
saying. Is like you wouldn't
Business
show up to
casual.
work in a sports bra and like.
Again, can you pull it off?
Doesn't matter. You wouldn't show up to work like that. That's unprofessional. But as far as
Chelsea.
like just going to the like park or whatever to run, like yes, you can be in a sports bra and capris or something, like some athletic capris. Go for it, by all means. If you're going to the beach, feel free. Wear as little clothing as you'd like. That's the beach. That's appropriate to that situation. But don't show up to work in your fucking swimming suit. That's weird.
Why is that?
Hey, first day back, I'm wearing my Speedo.
Can I
Please
ask-
do, and then you'll get fired.
May
I doubt it.
May I present the
True.
scenario to you guys? And I think that this is like this actually happened to me, where there is this gym that you can go to at my last work, but you had to drive there. And then there is this really, really small changing room, and the guys are your coworkers, right? And they pay you to go to this gym, or it's free, whatever.
Sure.
The company pays for you to have access, the company pays for you to have access to this gym that has a, corner shower unit changing room, or how small are you talking?
It's about the size of
Is it like the whole locker room type thing? Is this small, or you literally have a changing area that's smaller than a Macy's?
like if you took 2 Honda Civics and you kind of like made them into a squarish shape, that's the size of the gym, of the locker room.
Okay.
And is this like base Honda Civics, or are we dealing with like the extended wagon model, or
Base, yeah,
base?
Yeah.
Okay,
Nothing. It's not the small one,
Okay,
but,
let's
like,
not get
Sure.
bogged down with semantics here. Like, let's
Just
You've
imagine,
got-
I care about specifics.
it's
you
a
have, like,
cubicle. You've got
10
like maybe 4 cubicles sized worth of a space to
right.
to change. Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
Now, in this area, like, I guess there's no custom about like decency or anything like this. It's just the guys are just like, I'm nude now, and then they would start talking about work. They're like, hey, TPS report this, and did you fill out that thing there? And I'm like, this is really strange, because like if I just was naked in a room, like you guys would be like, put some clothes on, but it's okay in this setting. It always bothered me.
Yes.
Context is important.
It is.
Context is important, but like, why? I don't want to talk to anybody naked, like, about work. This is weird. Like, this is objectively weird stuff, and I'm like, I don't feel comfortable talking about it when your dingling is out.
What's wrong
right?
with
like,
being naked with your buddies or your
they're not my
coworkers?
No,
they're
not
not
buddies.
my buddies.
Coworkers.
They're
Okay.
coworkers. You
Coworkers.
don't
Yes.
necessarily
But in
like.
a gym for your coworkers, in a changing
Sera?
room for your coworkers,
Are there any coworkers you work with that you would feel comfortable being naked around
Absolutely
and
not.
talking about business?
absolutely not.
I mean, I'm okay. Like, just,
Not
Okay.
even, so all of these
Uh-huh.
people, if I were to show up, like I wouldn't be comfortable. I'm not comfortable naked in front of anyone. We'll just put it that way. But if that was the case, and I had to like quickly strip down and get dressed again, like I could do it. It's not like I would be like offended or anything.
But they want to engage you in conversation.
Sure, whatever.
No, this is not sure, whatever. This is like, this conversation is important to you because it's information that you need to know, right? Like, you want to know this as soon as possible because it helps you with better decisions for future business purposes.
I would probably say, hey, why don't we talk about this when we're in
your ding-a-ling is not out? Like,
no, when we're not working out, like when we're actually in an office setting. Because right now this is a casual setting.
But that is also under the context of an office setting because the company's paying for your access to that gym.
Different though. You're not on the. Are you on the company's dime while you're doing that though?
Yeah, we are.
The company's essentially paying for your membership.
The company's paying for your membership.
Is that not on the company dime?
Yes, the company is also willing
but
that
you're not expected to work while you're working out.
No, but you have the privilege of working out, and they don't really, they want to keep their people healthy. That's fine.
Sure, but that's not working hours. That is working out hours. That is physical hours. That is not. Here's
the thing, though. Like, it's not like the.
I would have no problem.
It's a bit of a gray area.
No, I would have no problem saying, "Hey, let's talk about this in a meeting or when we're in the office."
Now, imagine it's your boss saying this.
I would. Well, it depends.
Imagine it was a bigger company.
Yeah,
or it's your boss that's saying, "Hey, I heard about this good thing you're doing. Can you explain to the TPS report about how you signed it here?"
Flop.
And it's like, the fuck, man. Like, wear some pants. Like, this is weird. Like, and
that might be a little different because it's your boss and they have authority over you. So I would probably be that would be a little different of a situation. But if it was anyone else, like if it wasn't anyone from my work, no, I would have no problem saying, all right, this is not what I want to talk about. For the record,
right now. It was never my boss. My boss was cool. But the boss and the boss would pull this off. And you're just like, this is just... And they enjoy this.
Yes,
like,
they probably want to bond with their underlings.
It's a power play from the boss and the boss.
Just have like the hair dryer and they're just blowing it off and they're just... it's just like, this is just a strange...
They reach into your locker and grab a razor and be like, I need this for a second.
Right. Just context be damned. This is wrong. Objectively speaking, this is wrong.
Your razor.
Just hold on. I really need to get my taint here.
Right, like, so...
Oh my god.
So how about those TPS reports?
Right.
Here, have your razor back. I'm done. Immediately throws it in the trash. It wasn't a disposable, but...
Hey, let's save the environment. Like, do you want to use this towel after I used it for this area? It's like, sir, no thank you.
Nope.
I'm just...
Here's your face towel back.
I didn't even work up that much of a sweat.
Here's your face towel after I've used it on my pits.
Yeah.
No thanks. That's okay, really.
Pits.
All right.
All of the pits.
I'm just saying that, like, context doesn't matter. This still is shitty behavior, guys. So just please stop if that's you.
Why are you upset about naked bodies? I don't understand why you're so upset about them. Granted.
All right, next time we record, we'll all do it in the buff.
I refuse.
Why are you so upset? This is we're going to record at a nudist beach.
No, I'm merely calling your bluff, Sarah. That's it.
It's not a bluff. I'm not offended by
naked. I will.
Please don't.
For the record, no one is doing anything mischievous.
I just won't look. I'll just.
I haven't been wearing pants all day, so.
I have been wearing pants most of the day.
Wow. Look at Mr. Overachiever there.
Well, and by pants I mean sweatpants, so I don't know if that counts.
Pants.
Look at you adulting and covering up 90% of your thighs.
Yeah, I mean that's just.
Well, I wasn't like an old lady moo-moo like for the first half of the day, mostly.
I didn't even wake up until the end of the first half of the day.
I woke up to a phone call from my coworker, and that was awful. But it was fine because I was cuddling with my cats in my bed, so that was all right.
Yeah, the more you guys talk about, like, your disadvantages, air quotes, fuckers, like, I'm starting to think that you guys are just, like, pulling a fast one on me. Like, oh, it's so terrible, just relaxing and resting.
This is a post-record conversation. We are currently talking about the fact that America needs to find their love affair with trains again, goddammit.
Oh,
That's
right,
true.
Right.
That is
true. Should
we
go back to that? Yeah, we should go back to
yes. That. So your argument about people wearing like Fruit of the Looms as bras, right? Like that's still going to happen on the trains, man. Like it's going to happen, but you're going to be with that person longer. And think about it, if it's
potentially,
cheaper,
but it won't have the same cramped seating because you will have a greater space for the same amount of efficiency. You won't just have a 747 with 120 seats. You will have a 9-car train with 300 seats. You will have a greater distance or greater chance of separation from those people that think that Crocs and your smiley face sweatpants.
Unless we have a really big population boom, and then we're not having any space whatsoever.
Well, on account that like a fair percentage of us are infected with a disease that will probably kill us.
Perfect.
It's relevant.
You're right.
We won't have a boom. We're not going to have like the baby boomer after World War II because of this.
I mean, give it some
We
time.
won't.
There will be. I mean, you're right. Right now, it's not feasible because it's not.
Republicans will breed.
Well, they'll try,
But they're too stupid to take a train because they'll want to take a plane because it's fancy. I'm going to fly in the air today.
they'll try to reproduce, but they'll quickly realize that the government isn't funding their child production, so it's just not affordable. Because the government doesn't pay for anything.
All right. Have you guys looked at this, the concept that not all Republicans are just like slack-jawed yokels? Like there are also heartless Republicans too. Okay, we need to have them
I'm sure there are
represented.
heartless Republicans. Show me a single non-slack-jawed yokel at open up a state rally. That's all. I don't care where you're at. You could be in Mesa, Arizona. Y'all sound like this, okay?
I mean,
okay, that's not true at all. In fact, people who claim that they're Democrats in some ways are Republicans. Or they would be. They would be Republicans if Republicans were even remotely what Republicans are supposed to be.
They would be fiscal Republicans.
That's what I mean.
Social Democrats. That's why the two-party system is bonkers.
Yep.
Reference to episode.
Anyway, let's not get into that. Let's keep talking about trains. I don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I segued to a prior episode.
Trains
Several prior episodes.
Okay, so I agree with
they're
trains.
all prior episodes at this point.
Trains are good for a distance from Minneapolis to Chicago because I like Chicago. So let's just do that. And every other train that's...
But what about Minneapolis to Kansas City? What's wrong with Kansas City? You don't like going to a Royals game? Or a Chiefs game? Or they don't have any other sports game?
Okay, fine. Trains to Chicago and Kansas City. That's it.
So the
no other
regional
trains.
hubs. And regional hubs, if you have constant travel, will be more efficient than planes.
They will be. And they can carry a lot more people.
For a lot less overhead cost.
Yep. And
I feel like you tricked me.
Even if you run a train half full, you're probably going to be making some money on that train. Unlike a plane, where you need to have 80% fulfillment in order to make your gas payment
Break
worth
even.
it, as well as your docking fee.
Right.
Like, JetBlue's flyover of New York pisses me off so goddamn much. They're going from JFK, around the boroughs, back to JFK 3 times. 3 planes have to be fully fueled up to make that trip. Even though gas is, I don't know,
$2 a gallon.
piss a barrel.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, that's still a waste of money.
Yeah, I'll agree that if we went to a train system or even like one better, like a bullet train system, like you guys are saying, maybe even next gen technology.
I mean, we're not dealing with Elon Musk's underground thing. I think that's
underground would be
way more money than it's worth.
Underground would be too expensive. You'd have to do it underground.
Yeah.
So,
above ground, like 20 feet with like shock absorbers, multiple places to deal with all the fracking earthquakes we have.
Yeah.
So you're talking about like
God,
there
America's
might be like
crazy.
a few places where you'd go underground or through a mountain or something, but like most of the time it's not going to be.
But that could be bored through, and you would oversize that to deal with any type of plate shifts.
Yep.
So you could have a direct route from like Seattle to Bismarck, I guess.
There'd be a lot of interesting direct routes.
I would be okay if it was more affordable and more luxurious.
Even if it was 30% slower or something.
Even if it's like I would be
The initial cost, the initial investment would be high
for sure.
But the efficiency and longevity that has been proven by the Northeast Corridor with all of New England running on railway systems that are 100 years old. You see the longevity of this style.
But I'll ask this last question, and that'll be it for me, which is, why do people need to travel? Like, if it's for work, could they do it through,
Zoom?
WebEx? Zoom?
So,
virtual? Sorry.
I tried to keep the 5-year moratorium and not deal with COVID. Now, yes, there should be no real reason to travel.
No, but I mean,
because we can just do it online like this.
But
Except for
way
to
back in the good old
see-
days when travel was a thing
No,
that needed to happen.
not- even with like the good old days, right? Like traveling creates waste. It creates like a lot of if I'm a Green Party advocate, like a lot of carbon footprint for one person to travel. For what? Like, what is it that they're doing?
Don't
If
you
it's
wanna,
for
like,
business,
Don't you want to like go and stand in a place that is
You
just
haven't before?
well, and just stand in a place that might have history. You know, like you just be like, wow, this is older. This building is older than
The state of Minnesota.
yeah, whatever. You go halfway across the world and you can like step into like castle ruins that are thousands of years old. You're just like, this is freaking
I mean,
cool.
I guess
I would like high-speed rail over the ocean. I think that would be pretty
That
neat.
would be neat.
that would be neat.
I mean, all you have to
Dangerous
do is
though.
just... Oh, why, though? Why?
I mean,
Because the ocean is dangerous.
No. But if you had it where it was 50 feet under as a solid tube,
consider
50
though
feet-
that there's still wave movement.
and you would have that as like part of its system,
Mhm.
where it would sway back and forth. But if you're not dealing with the actual surface, the motion of the ocean, as it were.
Get out of here.
Wait a minute.
Left.
This tube is I'm going to be assuming that if you're going to have a tube, it's going to be like vacuumed.
Oh, it would just be powered by like a straw. It would you just blow air through it, and it would just it would just shoot across the ocean.
You go in and stop, and like the back door closes, and it loads like a potato gun.
Yes, it's basically.
And if you look out the window, you get to see
potato
the flame that's launching.
gun. Okay,
into
you laugh at this now, but I feel like in the future this could totally work.
I forget the movie.
God,
I forget the movie, but it was something in like the mid 90s.
30 years from now, we're gonna be like coming back to this and be like, yeah, we thought of this way before they did this. We're
This movie in
geniuses.
the 90s had these aliens coming down, and they're like, you should have no problem taking over this planet and finding someone to like inseminate with your seed to start propagating our species. They still think flying in the air is the fastest way to travel.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say I would love trains, and I would
Same.
love trains if
Like
they
I
came.
agree.
And-
I agree with most people. I think that the autonomy of a car is nice, and I think that's still going to be a viable transportation means. But I think trains should be more than just what they are now here in the U.S. I think they could be a major form of travel more than just cars. Okay, fine,
It is indeed obvious.
fine. Get out of here.
But you know what isn't obvious? This is the end of the episode. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks,
Bye, Mom.
Mom.